Hello everybody, and welcome back to some more Amnesia. We are, of course, continuing with the second episode. Make sure to check out the first one if you haven't already. A quick reminder, we are reading through all notes, all the developer messages as well, we have those turned on. And of course, listening to the flashbacks, and we are trying to piece together the very details of the story, even though we know the overall story, because I have played the game before, unfortunately, and I couldn't give you my first experience. I have played the game before, so I know the basic story, but we're trying to piece together the details. And of course, the developer messages are also a cool thing, which sometimes we talk about. And just like the first video, this is still part of the same stream, so unfortunately the quality ain't the best, and unfortunately I cannot split the audio into my mic and my game, so if I want to mute myself for just the game, unfortunately that wouldn't work. With that, let's jump right in. Right, so I guess wine cellar time and then go the other way. I mean, arguably I haven't even been to the other side. I could go to the laboratory first. Let's check the laboratory out first. Almost everything is particles.
The particle editor is also a fine part of the tool bundle, and it is what we use to create particle effects for maps and events. We use particles to do nice effects like the flames in torches and the smoke that comes out from them. All we need to do is add one or more particle emitters, set up some parameters like starting position and speed, on all sorts of fadings in size, color or speed. It's funny how you can simulate all kinds of effects with such simple elements. I very much recommend you to try it yourself.
Okay, so it's kinda hinting you, that's not as much about the game, the process. Stop getting scared! I know there's a water monster, I know I'm gonna have to face it in a minute. Not looking forward to it, but I know. Let's check this out as well.
In early concepts,
Sorry, from wine to acid, okay.
In early concepts, this was meant to be a sort of wine testing room and directly connected to the wine cellar. The reason for the whole wine testing thingy was that we planned on having more laboratories in layer levels, so a lab here as well felt kind of strange. Then things changed and only one lab was left in the design, so we changed the name to laboratory instead. The whole wine testing facility that could make dangerous acid always felt kind of strange anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it would make too much sense to make acid in a wine cellar, right? 4 different chemicals are needed to continue. The lack of a chimney to properly vent the fumes from my most recent experiment has taken its toll on many of my less stable ingredients in storage. Yeah, that's not good when you don't have a chimney. Some seem unaffected, but many are stained by the fumes and will be difficult to salvage. I shall do what I can to move them to the wine cellar. So yeah, we get a tip that they are in the wine cellar. Oh, memory time?
There should be more cuprite.
Cuprite, whatever that is.
Let me see. And 1 part aquafortis.
Aquafortis. Oh, this is my 3rd attempt to produce artificial vitae. Oh, I think that's the thing he needed, like the thing Alexander needed to survive, and I'm guessing we're gonna see in a second in the rest of the message, but I think he like extracts them from suffering of people, but he is trying to make it artificial, so without suffering, I think. The former content lacks the potency I need, but I sense I'm close. Calamine and orpiment are a given, and the cuprite binds them well. This time I will attempt aqua regalia instead of aquafortis, in hope it will produce a more even solution. The experiment was unsuccessful. The solution is highly acidic, I think, and proves impractical to put to any use except as a detergent. Organic tissue reacts especially violently to the solution and should be handled with great care. I might be able to use the recipe, but I'm losing hope that I will find the alchemic solution to my predicament. I'm pretty sure that's the issue, like he's trying alchemy to, I don't know, survive or whatever his problem was. And then he ended up going to torturing. One day I will return. If it wasn't for the thought of you, my love, I wouldn't be able to go on. When I find myself doing terrible things, I take comfort in you. As long as I am able to think of you and long for a life together, I know I'm better than the others. I weep for them. They lust for power without restraint, where I only crave fair judgment and a safe return. Yeah, I guess that's like Alexander's thoughts when I guess he has someone that he loves in his home planet, and that's why he's doing this horrible shit, and takes comfort that he's gonna be home, like back to his lover, and he doesn't care about killing people because he knows he's better than the others. I weep for them. Well, at some point he stops, and they only lust for power or only crave judgment and a safe return. That's not a chest, but there is a tinderbox though, hidden under the thing that I just. Oh, there is a chest here though, with another tinderbox. Okay, let's go to the wine cellar then. Yeah, well, we don't really need that. You won't really need it for that long, so don't worry about it. Okay, let's get at least a little bit of light going. So, themes and creatures.
A major design guideline for us was to give each level a unique theme, something that all puzzles, events, and the general atmosphere was built upon. This makes each level a little piece of the story and theme at large, and also gives them focus so the player is not distracted with too much information. The theme in this level is the strange creatures that lurk in the castle. The player first spots them momentarily in archives, so now is the perfect place to build some fear. There is never any real threat in this level, but it's much darker than any before, and there's a constant pressure with boards creaking in the light. The flashbacks also give hints of where the strange creatures come from, making all events focused on the level's central theme.
Okay. But yeah, I guess this... I mean, I guess these are not meant to be watched if it's your first playthrough. So that's a thing. I mean, yeah, obviously for me, it's like I've played it ages ago, so it's not a problem for me. But that's the thing. Like, if it's your first playthrough, you shouldn't be introduction. Oh, we can... Jens Nilsson.
Hello, I'm Jens Nilsson, co-founder of Frictional Games. I work mainly with the sound, gameplay, and event scripting in Amnesia.
Sound.
For my commentary in this game, I'll jump back and forth between the topics of sound, puzzle creation, and even talk about making this commentary.
Okay. Yeah, sounds is interesting. Like the way to preserve like the freaky atmosphere. My past a level crafter, not grafter.
The basic structure of the earlier levels in the game has been built by me. I have not created the models or anything like that, but I have built the levels with the graphics from the artists using our level editor. This was the very reason for us to create the level editor, as it would allow for the whole team to work on levels, building them from scratch if so needed. For our previous Penumbra games, you could perhaps tweak a level a little bit, but making a whole level was the job for an artist and no one else. In the early days of the Amnesia project, the artists had their hands full with making graphics, and so I was the one building the levels. Looking at the levels now, a lot of things have changed and improved, but the base is still there. Showing that the idea to create the level editor was a sound one of the few things, in fact, with the Amnesia project that has not been scrapped, reworked, or modified heavily.
Okay. Pride. And we're getting the door closing on us. Interesting. We need 4, correct? Pretty sure we need 4. Ah, that's the room that collapses. Oh, I thought there was another. They was gonna keep going. I guess that could be a reason to not always completely fill up my lantern. Oh, I think when I grab that, the fucking thing falls on my head and smacks me, right? Pretty sure that's how it goes. And I guess it collapsed for a bit. Is the light still on or did it... Nope, I wasted the tinderbox, I guess. Oh well. Is that blood? I guess it's blood from the barrel that smacked me in the face. Which, I mean, that's pretty bad times getting smacked by a barrel from that height. I mean, depends if how full the barrel is as well. Oh, not like that though. I was standing straight up. Hold on. That's not what I had in mind. Okay, well, oh. I guess when I made it out. Nice slice headache, that's good, because if I remember correctly, we do see a monster, a fake one, but... Yeah, that's just the room these guys were in.
What's happening? Oh, feels like my chest is going to burst.
And that's when he poisoned them.
My God, Wilhelm, do something! Except we're not getting out of here. How can you say that? Alexander, you piece of shit! Let us out of here!
Let us out of here! Remember when, like, obviously when I was young and just, I swear, like, that was so funny. Like, hey, say piece of shit, how funny. Also, since I think that might be the last time we hear of Wilhelm, I think we need a little something to remember him by. Wilhelm's last words. My name is Wilhelm, Haus Kaernk. These are my final words, my confessions, and my testament. 2 years ago, I was summoned to the castle of Brandenburg. As most of aristocracy, I was curious about what this supposed knight of the order could want from me and accepted the invitation. The Baron was friendly and offered me a proposition. Yeah, the Baron... Knight? Baron? I don't know. Whatever. It dawned on me that the nature of the contract was sordid. Sordid? What does a sordid mean? Involving immoral or dishonorable actions and motives. Was sordid, and that the reason I was chosen was because of the follies of my past, and not the honors I've been rewarded with during my time as a soldier. So he had some issue with the past, I don't know what that is. I was to kidnap healthy humans upon his slightest whim, and to do so without asking questions. In return, he would attest to my character at the royal court, advancing my position with noble society. I would like to claim that I struggled with the decision, but it came swiftly and I accepted it wholeheartedly. Ever since that day, I've brought men, women, and children to Brandenburg. I can't remember the numbers, but there were many, perhaps even 100, none of whom were ever seen or heard from again. Tonight the Baron invited me and my man down to the wine cellar. So I guess they've been the people snatching. That's the reason he had Wilhelm over, was so they can kidnap people. Tonight the Baron invited me and my man down to the wine cellar to celebrate our work. I had my suspicions as we descended the stairs, but he insisted and joined us in a toast. The wine tasted fine and my man drank without restraint. So begins the punishment for our sins. The Baron has locked us up and returned upstairs. Forgive me for what I have done. I was weak and I fell into diabolic ways. My men are screaming, their skin has been pierced by their own tangled bones. I feel my insides revolt against their God-given nature. Like if their skin is being pierced by their bones. You're supposedly... Oh, maybe they drank more. Yeah, he did say that, like my man drank without restraint, which arguably haven't drunk as much, so maybe you're dying slower. So I guess that's why you have the strength to still ride. I feel my inside revolt against their God-given nature. Blood has begun to pour from my eyes and I can no longer... I wonder, are these their remains? Like, is that literally all that's left of them? I wanna check the notes yet one more time though. Do we have anything about Wilhelm's time he was here? I don't think we do. The Gatherers, we don't know anything about them under there from the war. Now, maybe Wilhelm was also from the war? No, I'm pretty sure I go there, I grab an item, and then the monster appears. Yep, go away. I think I'm safe. I don't even know if he's real. Dude, fuck off. Is he leaving? I think he's left. Someone's coming? Anything else to that? Or? Remember when I was reading that, like when I first played, like few cuts and bruises, and I was thinking it's on the heart, and I was like, well, that's not having cuts and bruises on the heart. It doesn't seem like it's nothing. Now I gotta run back to the lab. Okay, now it's gonna be the, I know the thingy appears. Let's see, what was the deal with that now? Because obviously, I guess first of all I have to use them all. There's the collapse in the other room. What? That? On the thingy. There we go. So maybe order does not matter, I'm hoping. I'm just gonna pop them all and hope. Stop getting scared. I'm solving puzzles. I should be getting better, not worse. There we go. Pot of acid. Filled with acid. Yeah, that's what a pot of acid would do. Stairs collapse. I think that's just plop it here and we're good, I think. Oh, it literally snapped onto place without even me needing to position it too precisely. Okay. Let's move to the refinery. Oh wait, we're not going to the thingy yet. Yeah, we're not going up to the underwater place. There's still one other area. Thomas Grip. How names came about.
This level was first called Distillery, and if you check the data file, it's still named as such. Now, for some reason...
Shut up. We're getting up.
It's dark in here. Yes, and there's a good reason for it. But you can light the lamp now if you wish.
What's the reason for the darkness, that is?
Stay close. Be careful not to stray.
What's the reason? Why is it so dark?
Pay attention, Daniel. It's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
Interesting, and I'm pretty sure we'll be straying a bunch. How names came about.
This level was first called Distillery, and if you check the data file, it's still named as such. Now, for some reason, I told Mikke, a writer, that it was called Refinery, and the voiceover was recorded with the wrong name.
Wow.
Since it's easier to change a name than a piece of voice data, we had to rename it. I'm glad I said Refinery though, and not King's Hall or Grandma's Vegetable Patch. That would not have been as fitting.
Okay, so that's funny. He gave the fucking voiceover people the wrong name. And the enemy is right there? No? Where is he? There he is, passing through. Oh, he's coming in. Fuck, I cannot, I'm in the light. Which is probably not a good place to be if there's a monster coming. But I think I'm fine for now. Other than, of course, care shitless. Let's go back to that letter which we saw for a second.
22nd of June, 1839.
Backstory.
It's been more than a month since my last entry. After the event inside the underground chamber in Algeria, Professor Herbert insisted I return to England. He said he didn't want to risk forfeiting the entire expedition lest I took a turn for the worse. An excessive decision, in retrospect. But I'm glad it turned out that way. I found my journal this morning in the haphazard collection of things brought home from Africa. Next to it lay the broken stone orb wrapped in cloth. I tried to assemble it, but couldn't. The pieces wouldn't fit together, as if they weren't from the same object. Could I have imagined it all? Was there ever a complete orb?
Also, check dates, I wanna see. So that's May, 16th of May, 22nd of June. Okay, and he comes here. The current day, more or less, is 19th of August. 2 months ago, 3 months ago, sorry, almost exactly, happens in Egypt, in Algeria. 2 months ago, he came home and kind of forgot about everything, somehow. And then he happened upon his journal. It's like as if been exactly like this. One of the things you would think it's been 2 years the way it's said here, but no, it's literally, I mean, he says more than a month, I don't mean that, but like just the way everything else is said, you would think it's been, I don't know, 2 years or something like that, and he just happened upon his stuff and the orb, which he somehow forgot about. Yeah, and the guy booted him out because maybe Herbert knew about the shadow following him and is like, you fuck off, I don't want you to bring the shadow here. Try to assemble it, and then the pieces of the orb could not fit together. Interestingly enough, I don't know what the story with that either then. Oh. I think that's just wind. Pretty sure there's no like monster or anything of the sort. The game pauses when I look at the letter slide, right? One way to check out is to grab it while jumping. If I can reach it, I can definitely... There we go.
June 1839.
It does pause.
I feel the need to continue this journal, even though it was intended for my journey to Africa. This must be something very important. I just know it. I've taken it upon myself to piece the orb back together, but it's been more difficult than one might think. The pieces are behaving strangely. They seem to change color, shape, and texture, but ever so slightly. Yesterday, I took careful measurements and notated any significant markings. Today, I confirmed my suspicions. They were changing. I was terrified and rushed off to see the finest geologist in London, Sir William Smith. I approached the subject with care, and we discussed how rocks change form. He told me about the nature of glass, how it eventually collapses on itself, like ice slowly melting over the course of centuries.
What? Really?
Eased my mind a bit, but I can't escape the feeling that these shards have otherworldly properties.
That's like a few days later, right? 22nd, that's 25th. He was still trying to figure out the orb. Obviously, it was changing stuff. Not some William Smith, who apparently taught him about how glass collapsed on itself through the centuries. That's interesting, I didn't know that. Ease my mind, but I can get the feeling that these shards have otherworldly properties. Yeah, I mean, obviously that doesn't mean that they change in a matter of a day. He said through the centuries. So, I mean, yeah, that would... It's really fun editing when half the times I just start a sentence and then midway through just randomly stop. So what I was trying to say here, but just stopped myself midway through the sentence and for some reason never continued, was that Sir William Smith said that the glass changes through the centuries while the orb was clearly changing much faster, so that's why Daniel couldn't escape the feeling that it has some otherworldly properties. Here we go. I think there's no one, right, in terms of enemies. Okay, let's... Piece of wood.
The puzzle with the crank and pulley contraption was a tricky puzzle, not to create or on a technical level, but purely on a noticeable level. We added stuff to the puzzle perhaps 4 or 5 times because after each test session we kept having testers that did not see the piece of wood that you are to break to complete the puzzle. Originally you could only break it, so we added the option to pull it out as well. Then we added a faint light to draw the attention to it, and also tweaked the description of the crank. After that we added so that when you pull the crank there is a bit of dust falling from the piece of wood, and we also did a slight change in the angle of the piece of wood and changed the color and the texture, all to make it as notable as possible. So, the question is, did you notice the piece of wood?
Considering you said that before. So that's clearly must have been maybe smaller, maybe it was more... Shut up. Maybe it was more horizontal, and because of that, like, it wasn't very visible. Then they put this, like, faint light. You can see how it's kind of lit up. And I guess when you try to crank it, what happens? Let's see. It's stuck. Something is clogging the crank and pull a contraption. So yeah, it's clearly telling you that something is clogging it up. Okay, cool. Now let's break the wood. There we go. Broken, and then start cranking. And now, I am pretty sure we are approaching the water level. The cellar archives. Gonna fill with water. I love how this weren't here a minute ago. Mikko Taram... this guy.
I'm Mikko Tarmia, the composer from Amnesia, The Dark Descent. You may have heard my music before if you played the Penumbra game series, and I did a couple of tracks for Penumbra Tech Demo too. So this is my 5th project with Frictional Games, and I'm happy to be a part of the team.
Oh, can you pause with the top screen while these are running? If that's the case, that could be very helpful. Theme for Guardian.
Guardian Monster has its own musical theme,
Guardian
which
Monster.
you can hear in many situations in the game, even if the Guardian is not physically present. Actually, it's more like a noise sound than a certain melody, and I played it with my bassoon. The theme has many forms, and this one is almost a direct sound coming from the instrument.
Huh. Interesting.
And this noise, which sounds like screaming, is a highly modified version of it.
Fuck, holy shit. Okay, let's see, there is a lever in here. Is it timed? Yep, it's timed. So I'm definitely not rushing in right now. Wanna explore first. The Lurker Heart.
The creature in the water, affectionately called Lurky here at Frictional Games, did not have a sense of sound. Later on we wanted to add it though, so the player could lure it away by throwing stuff in the water. When I added this, something unexpected happened. Lurky started following me. When you jump on the crate, it hears the sound you make when you land and it goes there to investigate. This was very fun emergent behavior, and I think it made him even more menacing. I also want to add that Lurker was kind of inspired by my favorite movie as a child, Tremors. I guess this early obsession might also explain some creatures in our older games.
So yeah, that's... it doesn't make sense, like... I don't know why sound, like it's the water, like there are vibrations in the water, which they can feel when you throw stuff. So I don't know why would it be sound necessarily. I can understand what he's saying by like now he can see you and stuff, and that's why, you know, he follows stuff around or whatever. Is it stuck in there? I think it's stuck in there. That's fine. I can deal with that probably. Go, jump! I need to see as well. That's usually quite useful. I think it was just about to bite me. There was a sound at least. I don't know. It was quite resembling a bite sound. I think that's the second one, right? Which I needed to distract with the meat. Come on, go eat your food. Fucking Christ. Okay, there's another piece of meat here. Careful, don't throw it next to me. I'm afraid if I don't wait till it's done, it's gonna not see the meat that I already throw. It's coming for me. So I need to really bait it out. Rotate that, you fucking... I cannot... Hollow needle. Can I lockpick it? Oh, thank fuck. Oh crap, we're not out of the sound creation of the water lurker.
Hi, I am Tapio, and I made monster sounds and vision sounds for this game. Yeah, I just love this monster. I think it was pretty fun to make because there was underwater sounds as well as sounds from the above. I think I wanted it to sound like a very big monster, but still very fast. And I thought that voice itself needed to be high-pitched screaming because water is splashing around and messing other sounds. Actually, a great example is the attack sound where there is big water splash as it jumps from the water. At the same time, you can hear a short scream sound which is made from the cat sounds. I think it works great. I think other great sound is when it's just eating in the level. You can hear it eating meat and hear the bones crashing under the water. I made the eating sounds by walking in the water and breaking dry wooden sticks. The sound itself didn't need much processing or editing because it sounded almost like you hear now. Well, this is water monster, so I recorded lots of water sounds. For example, bubble sounds are made with a watering can, which is sunk in the water. And when it's chasing the player, its movement is made by a big rock, which I just threw in the lake. It feels like it's running after you or hitting its big hands on the water. I think there is lots of power in this monster.
Yeah, since you clearly cannot see that monster. Which, I mean, they meant to make it big, but also it's like in that deep water. Or maybe it's not that deep, but come on, it's like at most that deep. And you can't see it because it's supposedly completely under the water. How big can it be? Like this, I find it quite weird. Playing with a player.
This level is the high point of the lurker build-up, which sort of started in an entrance level with the slime appearing. It's supposed to be a sort of roller coaster ride and is designed to be easy enough to be completed on the first try. Yet, it should also be stressful. Many of the things in a level that seems like you barely make it are just scripted to be that way. But it's nothing you notice because they're blended in with the truly deadly stuff.
What is... I wonder what is that... What is in here is pretending to be deadly, but like... What is scripted is what I mean. I should be closing the doors. Oh, that might be the scripted stuff they're talking about. Like, sort of scripted, I guess. And this guy is talking. I guess they mean this place, you're meant, like, it's a lot of stuff that's actually safe, because it's scripted to sound like it's very close to something. I didn't really even see the monster at that level, so I don't know, I didn't feel it was that close at all. At the start I forgot that closing doors would probably slow it down, but again, maybe it's scripted in a way that it doesn't really make a difference, or maybe it does. Okay. This place. Just want to stay in the ambience for a minute. And with that beautiful ambience, we will be ending this video. There is one more video to come out of this current stream. This is the first stream still. So I guess I'll separate it into 3 videos, looks like. So of course, stay tuned for the last part. And of course, the usual stuff, if you want to catch me live, make sure to follow me on Twitter. Also drop a like and a subscribe down below the video, because they are always very much appreciated. And that way you can catch my other videos. And other than that, as always, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure to scroll down a bit and check out those like and subscribe buttons. They cost you absolutely nothing to click, and I would much appreciate it. Also, you can check my links to Twitch, where I stream pretty regularly, to my Twitter, where you can see notifications when I go live, and also other random posts, and also to my Discord, where you can hang out and whatnot.